Welcome to the Self-Worth System channel. I am Callie and I'm so excited that you're here today. So I heard this marketing campaign and it's basically talked about how hot girls have IBS. And I thought it was brilliant. It's amazing. Hot girls have IBS. It lands with me because I've experienced it too. And if you are unaware of what IBS is, it's irritable bowel syndrome. It is not pleasant, but it's very common. And let's be honest. This hot girls have IBS, it leaches into this topic of hot girls have anxiety. And sometimes that anxiety leads to it, right? But in this conversation, I want to tell you why so much of us are stuck in this world of experiencing high anxiety and how to stop letting it run your life. Now, my job in these videos is not to tell you what to do, to give advice, to be like the guru of anything. My job and my goal in these videos is to really share what I've learned over the past over a decade in this like desperate search for meaning and purpose in my life. So if you want to be a part of this community and you want to be able to live a life that is well lived, that is authentic to you and is no longer run by your patterns of behavior that are keeping you stuck, hit subscribe, because what you expose yourself to is what we become over time. Okay, so here's the deal. Every woman I've talked to who I've supported and served over the years, their biggest real issue has been like, well, I actually learned that I had to earn love. For me to feel love and safety growing up, like I had to conform in a certain way. And here's the thing. There is no such thing as perfect parenting. I'm probably doing the same to my son in some way, shape, or form, making him feel like he has to conform. This is a part of the human condition. So all of us have something that we had to conform to, but some of us have experienced it in a greater level, a greater scale. And I remember as a kid, everybody would tell me like, oh, she's going to be so successful, or she's going to be an entrepreneur, or she's going to be something like she's so cute and so pretty and so this and so that. And like, I was told all these things. And unknowingly, it created this subconscious expectation of, okay, well, if I'm not that thing, then I'm not going to be loved and appreciated and accepted in society. So I have to be these things. And, bullying growing up didn't help. Like all these things just built on top of each other. It created this really large amount of pressure for me. And eventually the bubble burst. And that was over 10 years ago when I decided that I needed to try and find a solution to all of this. But here's the biggest part in all of this is the anxiety and the behaviors. That's not the villain. Our anxiety is simply trying to be a messenger to us to say, hey, listen, this isn't working. I need us to do something different. We need to feel safe. We need to feel loved. What we never learned is that is a thing that we develop and we train inside of ourselves. And so my first meditation teacher, he gave me an analogy that I literally built my entire methodology on of my self-worth system that I have now that I use. It was so many years ago, but I will share kind of the gist of what I got. Is every day cows are led to a barn on the same path. And that path is a little out of the way because essentially there's a big forest in the middle that's blocking the green space where they eat to the barn. So the farmers lead them through this windy path every day. But then one day the path is cleared and there's clearly a straight line, like it's a straight shot. You can see the really easy route from the cow to the barn. But what happens is the cows continue to take the long-winded way. Why? Because that's what they were conditioned to do. So that's our brain. Our brain is what's been conditioned. So we've been conditioned to act a certain way in order to feel as safe as possible because our physiology tells us that we need to do whatever we can to feel safe. And so we're trying to do everything we can to find this equilibrium. But your brain is that old path. It's the conditioning that you didn't have a choice in creating that's basically telling you you have to have these patterns of behavior, which is conforming or people pleasing or having to pretend to be cool or having these really high expectations on yourself. This is taking the long way to feeling safe and loved. This is the habit that you've created in order to feel as safe as possible. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is we can change the path, and that pathway is way more efficient. And when we can change that path, we change our life. And that's the thing that creates the difference. That is how we heal our anxiety. That's how we heal that spiral that we go into when we feel like, okay, well, now I'm not living for myself. I'm living in order just to survive. And by creating the pathway, that's us having choice in how our brain is wired and fires. And so beyond spirituality and energetics, like this is real neuroscience. This is just the way it is you change your path, you change your life. So in a moment of anxiety, I've trained my brain to now do like a 2-degree turn. And because I don't like big, huge turns. Like I don't like to just be super dramatic because I just won't do it. I'll go into paralysis. So my thing is freeze or flight. So when I'm stressed out, I either freeze and I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? Or I run away from the situation. Shout out to my partner. Thank you for being there every time I've tried to run away. So really, like this 2-degree turn is really critical because it allows my brain to be like, okay, like there's something that I can do in order to calm down so then I can take the next step to be able to live the life and make the decisions and create the patterns of behavior that I actually want to create that are going to help me build the life that I truly want and has given me the life that I actually have today, which is me being me. And so this 2-degree turn is what I'm going to talk about today in healing that anxiety and that cycle of like just when we start to spiral. So it is literally like a teeny tiny pivot. It's like the smallest little thing that we're going to do in the exact moment that we usually would spiral or we would start to just jump into these patterns of behavior. It's like if you would imagine a boat that's in the ocean and it's just going in one direction. If it's going and it takes like a tiny little turn the other way, it totally changes the trajectory of where it's going. That's what we're doing today. We're doing that little tiny turn so that we can completely change the trajectory moving forward and build on the new way of being. So let's talk about this 2-degree turn. This is what I call the pause and pivot method in my system, and it is absolutely fundamental in being able to make any changes in life, in my opinion. And that is because that is the only way that I have ever been able to make a change has been for me to actually bring myself to a place of calm. So here's this 2-degree turn. It's the pause. The pause is literally manually resetting the nervous system because when the nervous system's in fight, flight, flop, freeze, fawn mode, it's not listening. We're not listening to ourselves. So we have to manually bring us back. So here's how I pause my anxiety without making like an entire ceremony about it or like having to like stop for 30 minutes and just try and like meditate because the meditation thing just like didn't really work for me in the moment. And so this is what stopped me from getting stuck. Number 1 is using the breath, but using the breath in a very specific way. When we breathe in, it's focusing on the present moment, obviously, because we're breathing in. But when we breathe out and focus on that exhale being much louder and longer drawn out, what we're doing is we're putting like a brake on the sympathetic mode. And it's saying, okay, we're stopping and we're going to slow things down. So that exhale is really important because the exhale is essentially the brake on the nervous system being like, okay, let's calm things down. Like I'm in control. So having that inhale and that really long drawn out exhale is step 1 in the pause. And then the second is the sensory reset. So we're doing a sensory reset because the sensory A is in the present moment. There's no anxiety that lives in the present moment. But when we use our imagination in sensory, what we're doing is we're cultivating a new energy. We're creating a new safe space. So you can use sight, hearing, touch, smell, taste. If you can just close the eyes and imagine something that you just love, that just feels so good in your senses, and you imagine that. Just go back to a spot that feels so good and so safe. And you can pick something, it can be different every time. Like sometimes for me, it's like, oh my God, I love cinnamon buns, even though it doesn't help my stomach. It's like, I love them. And so I like imagine the taste of the icing and like the cinnamoniness of it. You know, you can do anything. You can be like I think Neil's like a golf course. And so everybody just pick a sensory that you just love and just close your eyes and be there with the sensory. And then number 3 is the common humanity of it. And this was the part for me that I was like, wait a minute, I need to create a community of women around this, was because there's this common humanity that we all have where we fuck up, we make mistakes, we do things that we don't like about ourselves that isn't really us. It's just our patterns of behavior that we were primed to do. And if we can just remember that for just a second, like hand on heart, I've trained myself to do hand on heart and just to close my eyes and remember, like, wait a minute, that's not me, that's my pattern. And that's okay. Like I'm allowed to make mistakes, because when I make mistakes, I learn. And that's the most important part. And this is really hard, like in parenting for me, it's the hardest thing ever, because I go through periods where I'm really hormonal or really reactive. And this hand on heart has been so helpful for me in being like, okay, like I'm not alone here. I am just as important as my son, as everybody else, and I'm a human. And then what I do is I hum, and I start singing a tune in my mind, but I hum because the vagus nerve starts to calm the nervous system. And if you don't believe me, just try it. Just hum a little tune. It's so healing to just do these 4 steps and to create like a habit of doing it. And once you can create that habit of the pause, that anxiety spiral, it can't surface. It can't come in. And so this is the whole point of this, is the pause. And then there's another part of it, which is the pivot. And I won't talk about it in this video today because I don't want to go too far. But if we can just start to pause when we start to feel this anxiety spiral, we begin to feel this patterns of behavior coming up that we don't like, that are really like going in a different direction in where we want to go. I know so many of us have created vision boards before, and then sometimes we just look and we're like, oh God, that is so far away. How am I ever going to get there? Well, if we can start to catch our patterns of behavior that are basically like not supporting us in the vision we want to take, that's the turn. That's where we start to go closer to the direction. If we can pause in the moments we don't like and start to turn them inwards, it's a life-changing tool. So tell me in the comments below how this sits, how you resonate, if you feel a difference after trying it. I would love to hear from you. As I said, I'm here to cultivate community. I'm not here to become a guru. I'm here to connect with you and relate to you. So just please post in the comments below, connect with your like-minded female community, and I will continue to post videos. And I'm so thankful for the internet, for YouTube, for being able to cultivate this. So ultimately, yeah, hot girls have anxiety, but we also have neuroplasty, emotional regulation skills, and we have the ability to change. So what I want you to know at the end of this video is you've got this. Our community is being built, and you are not alone. You've got this.